You're standing on a train platform. A pigeon is walking in slow circles near your feet, apparently fascinated by a crushed chip. It walks directly into a trash can, recovers, walks into it again, and you think, this bird has absolutely no idea what's happening. Then, someone opens a cage 200 miles away, releases a pigeon that has never seen that location before, and watches it circle once, commit to a direction, and vanish into the sky. 12 hours later, it lands on the exact rooftop it started from. No GPS, no landmarks it's ever seen, no signal any human instrument can detect. Just that same bird that couldn't navigate around a trash can, crossing highways, rivers, and industrial ports with a precision that still confuses the scientists who've spent their careers trying to explain it. That's the question we're answering tonight. Not just how, but how deeply, because the deeper you go into this, the less like a city bird this animal starts to feel. The pigeon outside your window is a descendant of the rock dove, Columba livia, a cliff-dwelling bird from the coastal edges of Europe and North Africa. Rock doves nested on sheer cliff faces above open water. No forest cover, no obvious landmarks, just sky, sea, and the need to return. Evolution had thousands of years to solve that problem. Then humans built cities, tall concrete structures, narrow ledges, open plazas near water. To a rock dove, a city looks exactly like a cliff system. They moved in immediately, and they brought everything evolution had built inside them. Here's what that actually means. In 1971, a researcher named William Keaton at Cornell University glued tiny bar magnets to the backs of pigeons' heads. Not giant cartoon magnets, tiny ones, almost weightless. On sunny days, nothing happened. The birds flew home perfectly, magnets and all. But on overcast days, the birds with magnets got completely lost. Wrong directions, circles without commitment, no home. The control group, wearing brass bars of identical weight, navigated normally. The magnets weren't confusing the birds visually. They were jamming something invisible, something the birds were reading from the planet itself. Pigeons can sense the Earth's magnetic field. Researchers have found magnetite crystals, naturally magnetic iron mineral, physically embedded in pigeon beaks. Others have found evidence the sense may operate through a quantum process in the eye itself, involving molecules that respond to magnetic fields at the subatomic level, which means the bird isn't just looking at the world, it's sensing something we can't, and that's only the first system. In the 1950s, researchers built rooms where the sun arrived 6 hours late. Pigeons grew up inside believing that was normal. Artificial sunrise at noon, artificial sunset at midnight. Then, researchers released them outdoors into the real world. The birds flew home with total confidence, wrong by a precise angular offset that matched the clock shift exactly. They weren't broken. They were using a real system-fed false time. Two systems now, magnetic field, sun compass. But here's where it gets genuinely strange. In the 1970s, Italian ornithologist Floriano Papi proposed that pigeons navigate by smell, not casually, cartographically. Forests smell different from coastlines. Farmland smells different from cities. Winds carry those signatures across enormous distances. Papi argued that pigeons spend years learning those associations near their home loft, until the air itself becomes a map. His critics spent 2 decades trying to disprove it. Most of those experiments supported him instead. Think about what that means. To you, the air above your city smells like rain, traffic, maybe coffee. To the pigeon on that ledge, it smells like direction. And then, in 2004, Oxford researcher Tim Guilford strapped tiny GPS loggers onto racing pigeons and tracked their actual routes. He expected straight lines, clean paths home. Instead, the birds were following roads, not approximately, literally following motorways, turning at intersections, banking toward home when they recognized familiar ground. The same road, the same turn, the same final approach, repeated journey after journey. They weren't just navigating, they were commuting. 4 systems, magnetic field, sun, smell, landmarks, each capable of getting the bird partway home, together, creating something that still outperforms any navigation technology we've built at the same weight. A racing pigeon weighs 300 grams. This is why the pigeon never gets lost, but it's not the end of the answer. November 3rd, 1918. 8 days before the end of World War I, an American battalion of roughly 550 men had pushed too far into German-held forest in the Argonne. Surrounded. Position unknown to Allied command. Their own artillery was shelling them. No radio. 3 pigeons. The first 2 were sent with coordinates begging the friendly fire to stop. Both were shot down. The commanding officer wrote one final message and loaded it into the last bird. We are along the road parallel to 276.4. Our own artillery is dropping a barrage directly on us. For heaven's sake, stop it. The bird's name was Cher Ami. She was shot through the chest within seconds of release. Her right leg, the one carrying the message, was nearly severed, hanging by a tendon. She had lost an eye. She flew 25 miles in 25 minutes. She arrived, collapsed on the landing board. Message delivered. The artillery stopped. 194 men survived who would not have otherwise. Cher Ami was awarded the Croix de Guerre by France. American soldiers carved her a prosthetic leg. She is in the Smithsonian today. That is not a story about a lucky bird. That is a 300-gram animal shot through the chest, running 4 navigation systems simultaneously across 25 miles of active war zone. And somehow, she got home. We eventually built our own version of what she was carrying. Satellites, GPS, a global network of signals triangulating position from space. It took us until 1995 to make it fully operational. Evolution built something better millions of years earlier and packed it into an animal that weighs less than a can of soup. And here's what I keep coming back to. Every one of those 4 systems, the magnetic field, the sun, the smell, the roads, points at one thing: not exploration, not wandering, home. The entire system evolution spent millions of years building inside this animal exists for a single purpose. And humans eventually looked at that and said, we need to build that too. We launched satellites to imitate it. We're still not as good at it. So the next time a pigeon lands near your foot and looks up at you with that blank, slightly deranged expression, you're looking at 300 grams of navigation hardware that won 2 world wars, still confuses the best scientists alive, and points, always, no matter what, toward home. I'd call that extraordinary, even if it doesn't look the part. I'll see you in the next one.